Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be doing a solo playthrough of Endeavor Deep Sea. And in this video, I'm going to be playing Mission 6, Star Search. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I'm all set up to play a solo game of Endeavor Deep Sea. I'm playing Mission 6, Star Search, and I really like this mission. So if you didn't see the last one, there's like almost a mini storyline to some of these. It's by no means a campaign game, but Mission 5 on the backside here is Fallen Star. There's some sort of storm, and the sea star where you normally search has fallen into the depths, and you're kind of looking for it in Mission 5. And you're looking for it like in the shallows, and it's this really wide map. So I've already done a playthrough of that one, but Star Search is this mission, and in this one you actually locate the sea star on the ocean floor, which is really cool. So you have to go down to depth 5, and this mission really emphasizes the sonar action, and I really like that one. So there are a decent amount of rules here. So the setup, I've got it set up per this map, so columns A, C, and E with these 6 specific tiles, with columns B and D being empty at the start of the game. And then the special starting tile, the Fallen Star, is a depth 5 tile that in a solo game you mix into the top 4 tiles of this depth 5 stack. So I took the top, I guess 3, added the Fallen Star to it, shuffled them up, and so it's one of those top 4 on that stack. That's how it works for a 2-player game too. If you're playing 3 to 5 players, then you put it in the bottom 4 boards of that stack. I think the stack is only normally 6 boards, so it's like a huge difference. But if you got more players and you got more sonar actions available, so it's gonna take longer to find it. And then you can choose any depth 1 zone as your launch zone, so we'll do that in a little bit. Let me go through some of these other special rules here, and they may sound a little bit funny, but they'll make sense once you see them. So of course, as I just said, when you gain a vessel, you may choose any depth 1 zone as its launch zone. When you discover a zone, place an impact marker covering its discovery bonus after you've resolved it to mark it for goal 2 scoring. So basically it's saying if I just did a sonar action and say discover this ledge elevator, I take all the bonus stuff that it says there, and then I just mark it with an impact marker, because for goal 2 you have these different goals, mini goals that are worth different amounts of, or that are worth points. For example, discovering the most zones at depth 3, depth 4, and depth 5, the most in column B, the most in column D. But we don't actually need to do that because we're playing solo, which is co-op. And for solo co-op, you just need to end the game with 17 or more total zones. So if we built the full map down to depth 5 with all 5 of the columns in this particular mission, that would be 25 zones. So we need to get up to 17. So these 6 are included. We don't need to keep track of which ones we've discovered and which ones we have not. And then I'll come back to the other goals in a moment. Let's go over the other special rules. So when you gain an impact marker throughout the game, you've got your starting positions here. There's 5 of them. You can pick any one of them, put your impact marker there. Let's say I put it there, right? Gain the bonus. Once you have an impact marker on the board, gaining an impact marker does not let you place another one like it normally does. Instead, take an existing impact marker and move it to an adjacent empty hex. So you can move it this way, and you can move it this way. You have to move it to, you can see there's like some blanks here. Those are not valid spots, but you're moving it around and gaining the different bonuses as you go. And then these are the scoring hexes, which I've put mine in right there. These are the ones that are just worth points. And that rule says you may not move into a scoring hex until the Fallen Star zone has been discovered. So that's kind of interesting. One thing that I'll note, again, it says move your impact marker to an adjacent empty hex. It doesn't necessarily say you have to continue going downward. So I played around with that, I don't know, the last time I played this mission, and kind of toggled between a few different things to keep getting bonuses. But this next little box says you may start a new impact marker only if all of your existing ones have no legal hex to move to, or are in the deepest empty scoring hex of their column. So that means if you get all the way to here, for example, you are not forced to then move it back out of that scoring zone. You can keep it there and then add a new one to one of these spaces and start moving that one around. And so let's talk about how the scoring works. These, depending on their height, are worth 2, 4, or 6 points. And they're arranged in columns. This is column A, B, C, D, and E. Hopefully you can see that. And those correspond to these columns, A, B, C, D, and E. If your impact marker is in a zone that matches the column of where the fallen star tile actually is, then it's worth an additional 2 points each. So instead of being worth 2, 4, and 6, they'd be worth 4, 6, and 8. So that's just a very different and interesting mechanic going on this impact board than the previous 5 missions, and I think it's pretty cool. And so we could probably talk about the goals now. For the impact board, or I guess this first co-op goal, your total impact points from the board, plus journals, like this one is worth 1 point here, plus any tier 5 specialist scoring conditions in total for one player. If you have 15 or more points, then you will achieve that objective. Now, there's not like a lot of blocking action going on in here, moving your impact marker around. So you can pretty easily get it into the column where you're going to have the fallen star. And you can score 8 points from that, which is, half of what you need anyway. And you can probably get another one in here to score 4, plus the bonus 2 is 6. So it shouldn't be too tough to get 14 out of your 15 points just from this board. And then if you can snag like one of those, like you can accomplish that one. So this one's a little bit easier than I find in other solo levels. Then the next goal here, investigate the ocean. For solo, you need 8 or more zones at depths 2, 3, or 4, so the middle depths, where you have at least one disc. And I know I've made this mistake before. In this goal, it's just discs, not discs or vessels. Oftentimes when it's discs or vessels, I forget the vessels part, but this one is just discs. So again, zones at depths 2, 3, or 4 where you have at least one disc. For solo, that is 8 zones. So that's one I may try and go after. Goal 2 here, we already talked about, just have 17 or more total zones on the map. I think I'm going to go for that one as well. So definitely the impact board, like points goal, I'm going for that. And then I'm going for this pretty hard. And if I can make this one happen at the same time, then I will do that. And this one, again, a little bit different for solo co-op. This one says for 1 or 2 players, the fallen star zone has to be discovered by round 5. Now, it doesn't say by the start of round 5 or by the end of round 5. So that can be a little bit ambiguous, but I think I'm going to just try and find the fallen star as quickly as I can. And then, of course, we'll get 3 bonus goals throughout the course of the game, and then we'll have our setback cards. So those are here. The other journals are ready. Specialists, I think I'm more or less good to go, except for dive tokens. Let me talk about this for just a second. Longtime friends of the channel probably won't be surprised by this, but the Etsy store I co-own with my friends, Brain Bucket Games, there's a link in the description, is not at time of recording, but by the time this video is published, should be listing some replacement dive tokens as well as a draw bag. So I find the whole dive token system to be a little bit clunky with Endeavor Deep Sea, just in terms of storage. I'm not a fan of when a game gives you a bunch of tokens that are the same on one side and different on the back. You need to put them all the same way, like face down, and then kind of shuffle them up and place them on the map and keep the other ones face down off to the side. I just find it clunky and it slows everything down. So we've got blanks that I'll put on the map here that are just placeholders. And then when you grab one of those off the map, you remove it. And from this custom draw bag, you draw one of the original cardboard tokens, and it's a lot cleaner. So let me just show you that real quick. So here's one of the cardboard tokens, and here's one of our blanks. So the logo's a little bit bigger. The color matching is pretty good though, if I do say so myself. And they stack up nice so they don't tip over. So I'm going to put those on the map, and I'll just show you real quick. They fit real nice in the little section of the bottom of the box where these are supposed to go. They're just stacked 3 high. So there's 36 of them, just like there's 36 tokens in the cardboard version. And so they kind of nest into each other and lock in place a little bit so you don't knock them over. So we need 3 of them there and 4 of them up on this tile. and then 8 of them over here on the shipwreck. So there they are. So again, they're just blank placeholders. They make the setup a bit easier, and then I'll just draw the other tokens from the bag, and they all fit in the deluxe box. So I find it to be convenient. And at time of recording, they just opened the Kickstarter for the expansion, Uncharted Waters, and it doesn't look like that's going to come out for like at least another year, if not. They're estimating 16 months from now right now, so that's a little while. I have ordered it. If that, it looks like that might introduce more dive tokens. If we think more are needed, then we'll sell more than 36 in our kit when that time comes, but we've got some time. So anyway, that's my spiel. I won't belabor that point any more than I have, so let's get going. I need to start by placing my first vessel on one of the 3 zone 1 or depth 1 zones. I'm going to go right here in the middle. The arrival bonus there is 1 ingenuity, so I'm going to move that up 1 because I would like to get that. I don't know. I want to push all the tracks all the time, right? I think yellow and green are kind of in a balance or I should say inspiration and coordination are kind of in a balance so that you can keep your action economy going. But I think that this ingenuity track, is extra critical in this particular mission because we really want to be exploring and sonaring and getting to those lower depths and letting not the arrival bonuses, the discovery bonuses drive a lot of our progression. So to start, we reveal the first bonus goal, and it's synergistic. So for 1 player, 11 zones with at least 1 disc or vessel of all players, which is just me. So that pairs pretty well with this goal number 1 here, investigate the ocean. And now I can recruit 1 specialist from tier 1, and I am going to recruit, I can never read these from this distance, so I think sonar operator. Yeah, sonar operator, because I want to be sonaring. So the immediate bonus here is 1 coordination. I move up 1 space on that track. So I've done this step. Now I do this step, I gain discs. My inspiration track is in the first tier, so I gain 1 disc from my supply, and that goes to my staging area here. And now, this third step, I can reclaim discs from my specialist, and I've got 1 on the team leader at the start, so I reclaim 1, and now I can start my first turn. And I'm going to start with a sonar action. So I'm going to activate the sonar operator and a sonar here at depths 1 or 2 because that's what that says. I don't have a depth 2 spot I can place a zone because there are no depth 1 zones above it. So I got to start at depth 1. So I'm going to grab the 2 top zones off that surface zone stack. And we have Orca Reintroduction, which is one of the mini expansions, and Volcanic Island. And they're both pretty good. They've both got sonar actions. This one would let me sonar a little deeper, which is nice. But I like that the discovery bonuses both will give you a disc, so that's really helpful. But these journal and dive actions may be more useful than grabbing the orcas, and that arrival bonus, I may be able to use that right away. So I'm going to put Orca Reintroduction on the bottom of the stack, and I'll place Volcanic Island. And I think I'll do that, over here. Let's go this way. Okay, so I gain that discovery bonus now, 1 move on my inspiration track and 1 disc. So that goes here in my staging area. And then I need 2 more dive tokens here. Okay, so now I've got this 1 more disc. I'm going to place it on my team leader and move. And currently I can move up to 1 zone at a time, and I must stay at depth 1. So I will move here. And the arrival bonus is 1 advance on my ingenuity track, which now gets me my next vessel. So I can place that immediately. And I think I'm going to go right here because the arrival bonus there is now 1 space on my coordination track. So now that gets into tier 2, and that's very helpful. So I have no more discs, no more actions I can take this turn. So we're going to go into round 2 now, and we start by revealing the next bonus goal. We have dedicated. Have for 1 player 5 or more junior specialists at the end of the game. So this is encouraging me to not promote my specialists to their senior side. I don't love that. um, thematic, or not even thematic, I don't love it mechanically because it kind of encourages me to not do things that I would otherwise want to do in the game. So that doesn't feel super fun, but I don't have to do it either if I don't feel like it. But that's one of the goals. And now we work down this list again. I get to recruit a specialist again, tier 1. And I think I'm going to go with the pilot this time. That'll give me, as my recruitment bonus, an impact marker. So I don't have one of those yet, so I may place it on the impact board. And that first one, all the bonuses are the same. It's 1 disc. I'm going to go right here in the middle. So I gain 1 disc to my staging area. So that goes here. And then the next step here is gain discs based off my inspiration track. It's still on tier 1, so I gain another disc. I would like to advance that one more time to get more discs. Now the next step, my coordination track, says I can retrieve 2 discs from specialists. So I get these 2 back. And now I can start my turn. And I'm going to start with a sonar action. And I'll do that here in this zone. And again, I can do depths 1 or 2. I'm going to do depth 1 again. So I grab the top 2 off the stack. We have Dying Reef and Decommissioned Oil Rig. And I don't know that I've got a lot of interest in either of these because they're both pretty conservation heavy, and that's not really what I'm going after. The bonus on this one is that when all of these are filled, each player who has a disc on one of these may promote a specialist, which kind of goes against that dedicated goal that I just drew a minute ago. So I don't really want that. Maybe we look at the arrival bonus or the discovery bonuses. This one gets me a reputation and a disc. That's very nice. This one gets me a coordination and a research. I don't feel like I need that as much. So I'm going to take Dying Reef. I'll put Decommissioned Oil Rig on the bottom of the stack. And Dying Reef goes in the only spot it can, right here. So now I gain my 1 reputation and 1 disc. So that goes to my staging area. And now I'm going to use my pilot to move. And I can go now, I'm in tier 2 with my ingenuity track. So up to depth 2 and up to 2 spaces. So I'm going to go 1, 2. My arrival bonus is another disc. So that goes to my staging area. And I can take another action. And that'll be with my team leader. I'm going to sonar. And I will do that, I think here. I'm trying to spread out and get discs all over the place for this synergistic zones with at least 1 disc or vessel of all players. I need 11. So I'm trying to spread out and get discs all over. So I'm going to sonar here, and I'll do that at depth 2 this time since depth 1 is full. So I grab the top 2 off the deck, and I have Sunken Ruins and Underwave Academy. And Underwave Academy is really nice. I typically do pick that one, but I think I might go with Sunken Ruins this time. You know, the sonaring is at greater depth, so that would be more useful. I like this arrival bonus because it'll get my reputation track into tier 2 so I can start recruiting tier 2 specialists. And then this is a nice bonus too. If you get through all these dive tokens, then all players with a vessel here can then move for free. And that might be pretty useful later. So I'm going to keep Sunken Ruins. Underwave Academy is one of the other mini expansion tiles that came with the deluxe edition of the game, along with Orca Reintroduction, which we saw at depth 1. And there's a depth 3 one, the Robotic Wanderer, that we may or may not see as well. But there you go, Sunken Ruins. So my ingenuity track advances, my reputation track advances, and I need to add 4 dive tokens here. All right, so that zone has been discovered, and I'm now out of disc. Well, I've got a disc, but I've got no more specialists to activate. So, and there's 3 discs on there. That tells me I need to start pushing this coordination track a bit more rather than this inspiration track, because I've got more discs that I'm able to use right now. So I need to start getting these discs off my specialists. But anyway, that's going to be it for that round. That's been 2 rounds because I've recruited 2 specialists. So we go into round 3 now. Let's see what the bonus goal is. We have Scholarly. So for 1 player, have 6 or more leftover research at the end of the game. That one's typically pretty doable. So I'm not too worried about it. All right, so now I start by recruiting a specialist at tiers 1 or 2. And I think I'm going to go either the psychologist. I might go with the navigator, though. I like the navigator's actions better, But if I can promote that ecologist, then that will get me into the next tier for coordination. I don't know if that's really worth it or not, but I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's go with the ecologist. So I get no immediate bonus, only upon promotion. And now I gain one more disc to my staging area. So that goes here. And now I can recover 2 of these 3 discs. And I think one will certainly be the team leader. The other, I think I'm going to do the pilot. As much as I'd like to sonar, I don't think I'm going to sonar this round, which maybe that's a little dangerous. Maybe that's not a good idea, but it's in the service of promoting this specialist and getting my coordination up. I don't know. No, you know what? I'll take it from my sonar operator, leave the pilot covered, and let's hope that that was a good move. So here's what we'll do. We'll start with a sonar action right here, depths 1 to 3. So let's do depth 3. And we have Rift Valley and Vortex, okay? Oh, and I really like that discovery bonus and this arrival bonus on Rift Valley. That'll help with coordination. That might open up different options. So I'm going to put Vortex back, even though Vortex can do some cool things. So I'm going to place this here. And I gain immediately 1 coordination and 1 ingenuity. And so my ingenuity is now in tier 3, so I can move up to 3 spaces at a time and down to depth 3. And I do like all these sonar spots as well. That's pretty nice. So let's do, with my ecologist, let's do a move action. Ooh, no, that's not going to work. Shoot, I'm going to run out of discs. Okay, we'll do the move action. This was not what I had planned to do, but we'll move 1 to here. And our arrival bonus is to gain a disc. And now I will use my team leader to sonar. And I'll go here, and that can be depth 2 or 3. But you know what? I don't think that's a good idea. I'm going to do that here. Depth 3 or higher. And I get that link bonus now, which is another disc. So that goes here. And I can do 3 or higher. I'm going to do depth 4. The rewards tend to be greater as you go further down. So maybe this will help, even though I do, for synergistic, want to get some discs all over the place if I can. And for this investigate the ocean, particularly in depths 2, 3, or 4. But let's see what we've got here. We've got Colossal Squid and Brine Pool. And these are both all right. I'm going to keep Colossal Squid. It's just got a few more options, I guess, and it'll get my reputation track up to the next tier, so that's helpful. And it's got the arrival bonus of coordination, so that might be useful as well. So I get 2 reputation, 1, 2, and 1 research. And this is kind of neat. It's got these 2 conservation spots, and they're both free. And when they're both filled, you get 2 impact markers. So in this scenario, that would mean you can move your impact marker twice. And then we've got a yellow journal space, and we place 3 more dive tokens. So that's going to be the end of round 3. So going into round 4 now, we get our first setback. Let's see what this is. Each player chooses 1. Oh no. Either reduce your lowest attribute by 2 or flip a senior specialist to its junior side. I wish I had played that last round differently, because what I had considered was moving this vessel up to here, doing that brown journal to get this one, which is free, and then promote this specialist to get a couple more coordination. But instead I went with this sonar route, and I kind of sonared pretty deep. But because of that, I don't have a senior specialist, so I can't take this option, so I must reduce my lowest attribute by 2. Now my lowest is inspiration, and it can only go down 1, but it's back at the very beginning, which is pretty painful, so I'm not gaining a lot of discs. But now I move on, I can recruit a specialist from tier 1, 2, or 3, and honestly I might take another sonar operator just to be able to move my coordination track up, because I think I'm really hurting for that. I think I will do that. I'm going to take another sonar operator. That's the only way I have to be able to do this. Now I gain 1 disc for my inspiration track tier, so that goes to my staging area, and now I can grab 3 of these 4 discs back, and I think I will take this one, and Let me take the pilot. Even though the pilot and the ecologist can, in theory, both do a move action, and the ecologist has a little more flexibility because they can also conserve, I still think there's a possibility that I might promote the ecologist and get the disc off and be able to take an action there anyway. So that's it for the setup. Let's now get started with the round. And I'm going to start with a sonar action. And I'm going to do this one, depth 3 or higher, and I'm going to, or below. I'm going to go to depth 5 and see if I can find that fallen, what are we looking for? Yeah, the fallen star. Because, again, this goal was fallen star discovered by round 5 for a 1-player game, and we are in round 4. So again, I don't know if it means by the end of round 5, but just to be conservative, I'll try and do it before round 5. And we have scaly foot snails there, and there it is, fallen star. So I'm going to take fallen star. I don't care about what scaly snails does. So this goes to the bottom, and fallen star goes right here, and I immediately get 1 reputation and 1 ingenuity, and it says 1 impact. So I'm going to move my impact marker, and I can move it adjacent. I'm going to go here to this ingenuity spot to bump that again. So I'm really close to getting into the 4th tier and getting my 3rd sub. I think that would be useful. And now we put 4 dive tokens here. And every time you dive here, you get to interact with your impact marker. But we have definitely accomplished this goal, so I'm going to mark it just so I don't forget that we did it quickly enough. So let's take a look at these other goals real quick and try and figure out what I might want to do. So I want to build out the map to at least 17 tiles, and it looks like right now we've got 12, so I bet I can get another 5 out there. And then the question is, can I have at least 1 disc in 8 different zones at depths 2 through 4? I have got discs at exactly 1 zone at that depth right now. So I would have to hit 7 more of them and get a disc out. That may be difficult. I think that gives me reason to really push the green and yellow tracks from now on. And that's inspiration and coordination to get my disc economy going, because I feel like it's a little bit lacking. So hopefully I can do that through discovery bonuses, because I'm going to keep sonaring here. I'm going to use this sonar operator to sonar here at depths 2 or 3. And I'm going to do depth 2. I was going to maybe just fill that out, but maybe I should do 3. Yeah, let's do 3. Let's go a little bit deeper, because I think the bonuses are better. And we'll just kind of focus on this area here rather than this way. So we have got, what do we have? Jellyfish bloom and deep water shark. And I think I'm going to go with deep water shark, because that'll bump my ingenuity track and that'll be helpful. So jellyfish bloom goes to the bottom of that stack. I'll put deep water shark, I guess, here. I don't know if it really matters. I'll take that spot. So inspiration goes up 1. I desperately need that. And ingenuity goes up. So I'm going to get my last vessel. So let's place that here. And then I need 5 dive tokens. So I place those there. All right, so now I can choose any depth 1 zone as my launch zone. And you know what? I think I'm going to go here, because that'll give me an opportunity to go after that brown journal, because I don't really have a lot of desire to move that way, but I'll start there, and that gives me 1 ingenuity as my arrival bonus. And if I had another disc, I would journal, but I don't. So I'm going to use, what should I do? Really, my options are I can move somewhere, but none of the places I can go to have, or none of the zones on the board at all have an arrival bonus that'll give me an inspiration, which is what I'd really want. So maybe I'd be better off diving. I'm going to use my team leader to dive. I can dive either here or here. I guess I might as well do this one. So I take the top blank off the stack and then draw a cardboard token from the nice bag. And we have either 3 research or a sonar action. And I think I'm going to hold on to that. That sonar action is going to be useful, I'm anticipating. So that is the end of round 4. We're going into round 5 now. I need another setback. So we're going to I don't really need another setback. I'm getting one. All players move all of their vessels 2 zones up or as far as they can go. Do not gain arrival bonuses. So this one's going to go here, and this one's going to go here. That is, in fact, a setback, because I really want to do things at depths 2, 3, and 4. And now I've got to move all my subs to be able to do that, or all my vessels. But now I can recruit a specialist tier 1, 2, or 3, and I'm going to go with the navigator now. These are very useful actions, and this 1 inspiration will also get me into tier 2 immediately, so now I can gain 2 discs. So here's 2 in my staging area, and now I can get 3 off of my specialists, and I'll take 1 off my team leader. And yeah, then definitely the 2 sonar operators, because again, my plan is to promote this ecologist. So now I can start my turn, and I will do that with my team leader, who will journal in this zone here on that brown journal. Oh, although I now realize this is brown or blue. Maybe I don't want to do that there. Maybe I want to do that somewhere that's better for this goal, like this blue space here. So yeah, actually that's what I'm doing. I'm going to use my pilot to move. I can go up to 4 spaces and depth 4. So I'm going to move this one off of here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to stop there. Get 1 coordination as my arrival bonus. And now journal with my team leader on this blue journal space. Take this journal, which has 0 cost. And my it's worth 1 point at the end of the game, and I can also promote 1 specialist. I'm going to promote this ecologist. The disc that was on the ecologist goes back to the supply, and now I can gain 2 coordination. So that gets me into the 4th tier. That's really helpful. This doesn't do anything else now. I need to replace it. That was the first journal I got, huh? So 1 of these, okay. And now let's do this. Let's use this navigator to move. I'm going to move this vessel to here, 2 spaces. I get 1 ingenuity as my arrival bonus. And now I'm going to spend this dive token to take the sonar action, and I'll take that action here in this zone and gain another ingenuity, which gets me an impact, and I also gain 1 research. So that goes up to 2. I can move my impact, so I'm going to move that down, gain another research. So now I've got 3 research. And I guess I'll keep the spent dive token up there. So I'm out of actions now for this round. I've got a couple rounds left. I'm doing okay for these goals. I think it's going to be kind of close, but really I think they're all doable. So let's see what our next setback is for round, what is this, 6. All players move all of their vessels 2 zones left or as far as possible. So this one is going to go all the way to here. That stinks. This one will go here. That's not the end of the world. No arrival bonus. We've got 1 setback card remaining. And now we can proceed with recruiting a specialist. And unfortunately, I'm still stuck here in tier 3. I'm going to go with this marine biologist, if for no other reason, just to get the 2 inspiration to get this up another tier, because I really need the discs. So now my inspiration track is in tier 3. I gain 3 discs, so those all go to my staging area, and then I can recover up to 4, and I've only got 3 to recover, so I get them all back. So now I need to start really pushing that green track. That's only going to help me. I've only got 1 more round after this, but as many discs as possible. I think that's really going to be the limiting factor. So let's do this. Let's start with a sonar. I'm going to do that here, which I hate to have more than 1 at the same depth 2, 3, or 4 zone, because I need to spread this out to a lot of zones. But I'm going to do this depth 3 or higher. So I'm debating if I want probably a nice tier 4 bonus here, or if I want to go for tier 3 and hopefully get a robotic wanderer, which may help me get more actions. I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, let's go for it. Let's go tier 3 or depth 3. And we do have the robotic wanderer and the thermal vents. So I think I will go with the wanderer dock. So I will use that 1 mini expansion. That's the 3rd and final one. Oops. Step 3 from the deluxe edition of Endeavor Deep Sea. And so it has a couple of special components. That's what they define as a mini expansion, is any of these tiles that has its own special components that go with it. So there's this robotic wanderer and these 4 markers that I'll just set off to the side. So the way that this space works is when you arrive, your arrival bonus is you may move the robotic wanderer one space from wherever it is. And then you treat it as your vessel as long as you're here. So when you move it, you gain the arrival bonus to wherever you move to. And as long as you've got a vessel here, you can take actions wherever that wanderer is. And then each time you do a journal action on one of those spaces, you can add a block to one of these for bonuses. And then that's a permanent bonus that you can use as long as you're in that zone, or when taking an action through the wanderer, I should say. So the one that might be relevant now is this one here. When you take a sonar action, then you can, once that's unlocked, when you take a sonar action, you can place the disc from your supply instead of from your staging area. So that is very handy. But now I do think I need to do some more sonaring because I just don't have enough zones. Like there's no actions available to place a disc in this zone. Maybe that wander was not the right decision, but it's the decision I made. So let's sonar again. We're going to do another one of these, depth 3 or greater. There's a link bonus here, so I gain 1 ingenuity. I'm going to do depth 4. So we've got, this one doesn't have any action spots for discs. This one does. So I guess I'll take this one. Also, this one has a good arrival bonus of gaining a disc. So it doesn't really matter, I don't think, where I put it. Let's put it there. So that is Continental Shelf. I gain 1 space on my inspiration track, 1 on my ingenuity track, and then I gain a disc. So that's pretty useful. And now I need to add 4 dive tokens here. So we've got 4 of those. And so I think I'm going to take a couple of odd moves here and hope I get lucky. I'm going to start with the pilot. I'm going to move this vessel. I can go up to 5 spaces now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arrival bonus is 1 reputation. And now I'm going to use my team leader I'll use this, what is this person? An ecotoxicologist or I suppose ecotoxicologist, to take the dive action. And I'm going to dive here. So that boosts my reputation into tier 4. Take 1 of these blank tokens and now draw a dive token from the bag and hope that it's really useful. I can either gain 3 research or I could get rid of a disc to gain 5 research. And I think I'll just spend that right away for the 3 research. So I'm at 3, that gets me up to 6. So if I don't spend any, I've at least got enough left over for this scholarly goal here. And since that didn't help me all that much, I'm just going to use my team leader to take another dive action. I'll do that one here. So I take 2 tokens and I get to draw 2 out of the bag. So let's do that. And then 1 gets discarded and 1 of them I keep. So let's draw 2. 1, 2. Okay. So either of them could be used for 3 research, but 1 could give me a move action and 1 could give me a sonar action. And I think I'd like to keep the sonar one. So let's keep that. This one just goes straight to the discard. And that's going to be it for this round. So I'm doing okay, but not good enough to accomplish all these goals, even though they're all kind of like close to being within reach. So we've got 1 more setback. This one's exhaustion. This is why I kind of put off this action. Each player returns 1 disc of their own from a conservation site of their choice to their staging area. So at least it comes back to the staging area. But I have not done any conservation actions. I've been wanting to do these and putting them off just in case that card came out. So it would have been really helpful to get those earlier. It would have kind of changed a lot of the board state, but that's okay. In the meantime, I don't have to worry about that setback right now. But it would have been really cool if I got these in the opposite order. That would have been super helpful. But anyway, now I get to recruit a specialist up to tier 4. And this double dive action is really looking good, but so is the double move action. And I think I'm going to go with the double move. So this is the vessel captain. My ingenuity goes up, which just loops back to here, which gets me 1 impact, which is effectively what I would have gotten here. So I'm going to move this down and gain 1 research. That goes up to 7. And now I gain 3 more discs. So those are in my staging area. And then I can retrieve 4 more. I'll take 1, probably 2, 3, if I had to guess. And 4, is that what I want to do? Yes, I think that's what I'm going to do. So now let's look at these goals and see what I can figure out. So can I get 8 zones in depths 2, 3, or 4 with at least one disc? Right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. I could get a disc here, it would be 5. But then I would need to get 3 more on top of that. I could probably move a vessel here and do a free conserve action. I don't know that I really want to do one of those because the only one I could do is this one, and that's going to bring my research below this threshold, but maybe it'd be worth it. It might free up some actions. So what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I would still need another zone. That's a lot of actions. I suppose I could come down to here to journal, and then I have access to all of the journals. I can grab this one, which is a little less expensive, gives me a move action that also allows me to promote, and I can have one more promotion and still achieve this dedicated goal. Now, how are we doing on zones with at least one vessel or disc? I need 11 zones. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with discs, and then 8, 9 with vessels. That one should be doable. And then how about 17 or more total zones? I've got 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I need 2 more zones on the map. And then I'm just not generating impact like I had previously when I've played. So this points goal is really not looking so hot, even though I thought that would be one of the easier ones. So I guess no matter what, I've got to move some vessels around and I've got to sonar. So I'm going to use the vessel captain first, take 2 move actions. I'm going to move, I guess, this one, 2 spaces to here, gain a disc as the arrival bonus. And I've kind of considered moving this one up just to gain 2 discs, or even over to here, just to gain multiple discs for the cost of that disc because they may be needed. But then I'm just going to need more move actions later, so I don't know if that's really worth it. So I think for my other move, I'm going to move this vessel to here. The arrival bonus is that I can move the robotic wanderer 1 space, so I'll move that to here, gain a coordination, and that is it. So now let's take a journal action. And I will use, I guess I'll use this marine biologist. They can journal, but then only my team leader can conserve, so I'll have to keep that in mind. But okay, we'll do that here. We'll journal, and I'm going to do this green journal type to take this one, which only costs 1, so I still have 6 research left. And now we replace the journal with this one. Ooh, that's a nice one. And so now I can promote 1 specialist, and I really like this double conserve, being able to do that here. That seems really strong, but that's going to take a lot of discs. I think I'm going to promote this vessel captain. So this goes back to the supply. I flip them over. I gain 1 more ingenuity, and now they can take a move and sonar as a single action. I think that's handy. And I've also got a move action I could take here. And because I've done this, I can also place one of these blocks. The Wanderer is here, and I don't really think I'm going to move it. So I'm going to place this, since the only thing you can do there is dive, I'm going to place this on the dive bonus. So when you dive, you look at all the dive tokens, take the one you want, and then put the rest back. And you put the rest back, you shuffle them, so in a random order. So now seems like as good a time as any to use this. So I'm going to sonar. I'm going to take a sonar action. I'm going to do that here. So that gives me 1 coordination and 1 research. And now I've got another disc on another level 2 or depth 2, 3, or 4 zones. I've got to get 2 more 2, 3, or 4 zones with discs on them. So this is spent. Yeah, I'm just not thinking I'm going to have the discs to pull this off, but I'm going to try. So I'm going with my expedition leader now, who can move and sonar. So I'm going to sonar first. I'm going to do that here, depths 1 to 3. That's a link bonus of 1 reputation for what that's worth. And I'm going to do depth 2. So we've got either sea turtle migration or submerged cave system. And this is going to make it hard to get around. This is not. So I don't think I'm really going to interact with either of these. I'm going to go with sea turtle migration. Take the reputation and the inspiration and put submerged cave system back in the stack. And I think that pretty much means I'm not going to get this goal here, so maybe I should try for this one. So that was the sonar action, but I still have a move. So I think I'll move this vessel 1, 2, 3 spaces here and gain a disc because I really need discs. And I think I'm still going to be a disc or an action short of doing as much as I'd like to do. So what I'm going to do is use my team leader. This is pretty desperate to dive here. And so we've got how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4. So because I'm using the robotic wanderer, because I've got a vessel here, I get this bonus. So I'm going to draw 4 dive tokens. So they come from the bag. Oh, give me good options. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the blanks will go away in this case. I get, let's see, research. Oh, I could promote someone. I could move. The move action sounds pretty nice. Or I could advance a track. Well, actually, promote's not so great because if I promote another specialist, I'll lose this goal. So I think I'll take the move action. I think that'll be helpful. So shuffle these back up. So in this case, since they do need to be specific things, I will put the cardboard markers back down on the map, no big deal. So sadly, now I've got no way to take a conserve action on that space. So I think I need to take a regular sonar action. That's my best bet. One more sonar action will get me this goal, and if it can get me a disc, then I can move around and get another goal. So we're going to sonar here at depth 3 or greater. I think I'm going to do depth 5. That's probably my best bet at getting another disc. Not that one. Seafloor Restoration and Black Smoker. So no disc. That's unfortunate. So I'm going to take Seafloor Restoration because that'll do interesting things, at least on the impact board. Not enough to get me to score for it, but I'm going to place this here. That gets me 1 reputation and 1 coordination. So that gets me 2 impact. So I'm going to move this 1, 2 down to that space there. And it also gets me 1 research, so I'll take 1 of those. And yeah, it looks like I'm going to be 1 disc short of my hopes and dreams. I'll go ahead and spend this one to take a movement action anyway. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I'm going to move this vessel here. There's my movement. I gain 1 impact as my arrival bonus. Now, I could move this to an adjacent space, but remember, you may start a new impact marker only if all of your existing ones have no legal hex to move to or are in the deepest empty scoring hex of their column, which this one is. So I can add another impact marker. And I'll just put that right here again and gain a disc. That's excellent, because now I could spend that disc here to take another movement action, and I'll move this sub or this vessel 1, 2, 3 spaces like that. I guess I'll gain 1 coordination. That's fine. And that is going to be it. We are at the end of the game. So let's see how we did. I was just on the cusp of a lot of things, but I did all right, I think, in the end. So we already know that we got this goal. We found the fallen star. That's this tile here, fallen star. We found it by round 5, so that one's accomplished. If we look at this one here, we need 15 points. I don't have any tier 5 specialists, so no points there. From journals, I've got exactly 1. And then here, I'm on this space, which is worth 6. But it is in column C, which is the column where the fallen star is. So it's worth an additional 2 points. This one's worth 8. So 8 plus the 1 is 9. That is not going to be enough. I don't have the 15. The last time I played this, I guess it got a lot more impact somehow. I think there was one of these depth 4 or 5 zones where, oh, and there's this one here. I did this one too. I went down to the fallen star where every time you dive, you get impact. And I was really trying to make use of that. Yeah, maybe I should have interacted with this one a bit this time as well. But somehow I had managed to get this second impact all the way down to here. And so combined, these were worth 14. And then I also had a point from one of these journals. And I think I had some points from a tier 5 specialist as well. So anyway, not enough for this goal this time. I also missed this one, which kind of bummed me out. So I needed 8 zones with discs at depths 2, 3, or 4. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. I needed 2 more, but unfortunately, this one, which I got early on, doesn't have a place to place a disc, and I just wasn't able to make these others happen, I guess. But now there's scour every sector for solo mode, 17 or more total zones on the map, and I've got 5, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I did manage to accomplish that one. So let's mark it off. And next up was synergistic. I think I just squeaked by on that one. So for solo, 11 zones with at least one disc or vessel. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just barely made that one happen. And then we've got dedicated, 5 or more junior specialists. I've got 5, so that one is achieved. And finally, we have scholarly. I have 6 or more leftover research. I am at 8, so that one's achieved as well. So that was 5 out of these 7. So that's really not so bad, but I really thought I was going to investigate the ocean, and I had a much easier time with that impact space one last time as well. So I thought there was a real shot at getting all 7, but I guess it was not today. But that's okay. So if you go back and compare this playthrough to my other playthroughs, I think you'll find that this map is a lot more built out and certainly a lot deeper. I don't know if I've ever gone down to depth 5 on any of my other solo playthrough videos of Endeavor Deep Sea, but this particular scenario really encourages the use of the sonar action and getting down to these deeper spots. And I think it's fun to build out the map. Anytime you do that, I think it's more enjoyable, and it's much slower and more difficult in solo than in multiplayer. You know, if you're playing a 4 or 5 player game and everybody's taking sonar actions, the map's going to get built pretty quick. But it's pretty satisfying to do this in solo mode. So this was Mission 6, Star Search. I'll just mention it one more time. Don't forget that the dive token blanks, along with the custom drawback, can be found at Brain Bucket Games on Etsy, link in the description. I don't know if we'll do more Endeavor Deep Sea stuff in the future or not. Right now we're just starting with this. But anyway, I am looking forward to the expansion. I think it's going to be a little while before we receive it. I think the number one thing I want is more of these bonus goals and more setback cards, because there's only 6 of each. And so every time I play a solo game, I see 2/3 of these and half of these. And I think I've complained a number of times about this one and the conserve action, and just how there's nothing similar for the other actions where you place a disc. So I think that would be a real easy and inexpensive thing to include in the expansion, and I sure hope they do, although it doesn't look like it at time of recording. But in either case, I've backed it, and when it arrives, you can expect an unboxing video here, and I'm sure I'll do a bunch of playthroughs. So if you want to make sure you see those things, then definitely subscribe to the channel and leave a like so I know that you like the Endeavor Deep Sea content. And of course, always feel free to leave some comments on this channel. Happy to interact with you down in the comment section. If you've got questions, if you noticed I made a mistake, if you just want to talk about the game, if you've got advice, I always take strategy advice. I don't claim to be an expert. All those things are great, so let's get a conversation going. And so that's what I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching Table for One. I had an awesome time playing. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.